Hello, my sweet doodles. It's Miss Humphreys, and we're going to talk about pedigrees. These are family tree charts that we learned about today. It is not an intuitive, but it's basically just like reading a map. So all we're going to do is learn about the legend, and we're going to learn how to interpret that map to use our prior knowledge of vocab terms we've already mastered. We know this dance. So let's jump into it. Pedigrees. A pedigree is used to. So what a pedigree is essentially a genetic family chart. So we're going to just write up here. Pedigrees is a genetic family chart, or family tree, pardon me. All right. So what we use it for is to see the pattern of inheritance of a specific trait. So the most common types, or the most common uses of this are diseases like hemophilia, colorblindness. Those are going to be the examples that you're going to see in most questions and textbooks. So we're going to use those just for reference. So what we're watching here is how the gene for colorblindness has been passed through and how those people have acquired that trait. So we're kind of trying to find the culprit. When we get an infection or when we end up with this disease, we want to find out how other people had it. Maybe we can prevent passing it on. So that's the point of these. Now, how do we read it? Oh, excuse me. Circles are females, and the way that I remember that is when women are pregnant, their bellies are circles. So we're talking about genetics. We're talking about offspring. So their offspring are circles. Males are squares. You know, they're just like, I don't know. They're men, they're squares. So, that is one category. So just like we have homozygous dominant, homozygous recessive, see how there's like two words that mean two different things, but they make up like it's the same lowercase. It's a female that is. Does that make sense? Like it's the same that is capital, similar to this is a square as to a circle. Okay, so let's practice that. We have how many females? 6. We have 6 females because all of the circles. I feel like Dora the Explorer, but we're going to keep doing that. So males, there's 4. That should make up, we know 6 plus 4 is 10, so there should be 10 total shapes here. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. All of these are represented. Now, as a separate category, we're going to see who's affected and who's carrying. So affected means that you have this condition. So this person is colorblind. That's it. That's endgame. That person is colorblind. A half circle, half filled in shape, is that it's carrying it. It doesn't have color blindness, but if it mates with another color blindness, they could end up having color blindness. And we'll prove that with some Punnett scores in a second. So a carrier is you don't have it. It doesn't show up. It's just like in your back pocket, like a little sleeper agent. Like it can just pop up with the right breeding. So let's count these now. Affected is a completely shaded in square. So let's see how many are completely shaded in. 1. Okay. So we just discussed, it's asking what the phenotype is, and we know that phenotype means physical feature, right? The physical trait that you are showing. So the physical trait of this is that this person is colorblind. So there's only one affected person. Now carriers, half circles, they're not affected, but they can pass this on to their offspring. Let's see how many of those we have. We have 4 of those. So if I had 10 total up here, we have 1 affected and 4 carriers. That equals 5. So what are the other 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 unaffected at all. Unaffected. Sorry, that's going off into that. But 5 unaffected, because remember, we have to have 10 in this category and 10 in this category. So we need the shape and we need the color. 2 different concepts. Now, how to read it is that the line across is a parent. So these people are the parents. So you could call them married, but it's the offspring. So it's the parent. So this is like the female fish, and this is like the male fish. This is like the female scorpion, and this is the male scorpion. Like, it's just whatever. They're not married. It's not a family tree. You're not tracking like divorce and things. You're tracking genetic offspring. So it's a scientific, not a relationship status. So these lines are marriage. Oh my gosh, I just messed it up again. These lines are the parents, and they have this stick going down, which is their offspring. So right here you can tell that a woman and a man had a girl. Over here separately, a woman and a man had a boy. Now we see the mating line again. So we have this female and this male made these 1, 2, 3 children. Here we have 2 lines because they are twins. You'll see this connection if they're twins. And then if there's an additional bar, it's identical twins, but that's a little much. So we don't usually go that far into it, but it's just a fun example. So now that we've learned how to read this key, let's talk about exactly what each means.